So I'm listening to Paradise Lost because his Dark Materials by Philip Pullman is supposed to be based on it. I've gotten through book 1, part 1, and this is a couple ex-Mormon observations. When Lucifer calls his minions to leave hell and go to earth, he says to them, "Awake, arise." These are very significant words from the LDS Temple Endowment. Also, when Lucifer is describing to his minions the things that they've lost, it sounds like the kind of things that you're promised in the sealing blessings. Thrones, dominions, powers, principalities, potentates. Oh, God. Another thought, now that I've taken classwork on the origins of things like the Book of Revelations, this is pseudegraphia. This is an apocryphal book which was allowed to be canonized, whereas other apocryphal books were not. So, Paradise Lost is a fictitious poem based on a fictitious book of scripture, which a lot of people think is true. It's kind of a snowball effect. Bigger and bigger bullshit. Book 1, Part 2 puts down all the other gods that are made up by men and personifies them as some of the demons who fell with Lucifer. This includes Asherah, the divine feminine. Book 2, Part 1 plays around with the idea of what could be worse than hell. And a lot of the damned people are like, we would rather be extinct, both soul and body, like disappeared. And in Mormonism, this does exist. Outer darkness is where the very worst of the worst go, and you are disassembled, except your consciousness stays, so that you have a special kind of hell. But yeah, that's what these spirits are saying, is like they're going to go for broke. Even though one of them, Belial, argues that maybe if we play the game, then God will come back and say, okay, you play by my rules, you suffered long enough, I'll get you out of hell. So we're going on to book 2 of part 2. Okay, so this is a Mormon concept, whereas most of Christianity thinks that David made it. Mormonism has him suffering in hell until like the very last because of what he did to Uriah. So yeah, he will be rescued from hell, but not after suffering a whole lot. Book 2, Part 2. Satan has a daughter who hatches out of his head named Sin. He rapes her, and she has a kid named Death. Death rapes her, and she has dogs surround her. She guards the gates of hell and opens them for her father, Satan.